this thing with Congressman Weiner turned even worse, if that can be believed, overnight. Now new photos of Weiner, which he apparently took of himself posing before a mirror in the House gym, have shown up on the website TMZ. Chairman of your party, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the leader of the House Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, have both said it's time for him to resign. But seeing this develop this morning, I have to ask, aren't you going to have to move faster than that? Aren't you going to have to put pressure here to force him out immediately?
Well, forcing him out will require a process, but this is bizarre, unacceptable behavior. It's my understanding Mr. Weiner has indicated he wants to take a leave. I would hope he does so. I hope he reflects upon whether or not he can proceed. It seems to me extraordinarily difficult that he can proceed to represent his constituents in an effective way, given the circumstances this bizarre behavior is.
You think he should resign?
I think that certainly he's got to consider that option. I don't see how he can proceed and effectively represent his constituency.
Mr. Ryan, Republicans hadn't said very much. There's an old saying in Washington, don't get between a man and a firing squad, and I take it that's what a lot of Republicans have done. They just sort of stood back and let this happen. But, you know, with congressional approval ratings down to 16%, and that's lower than Richard Nixon's approval ratings when he was forced out of the White House, it seems to me this is not just a problem for Democrats.
It's a problem for the institution. Yeah, this is getting beyond ridiculous. I mean, I feel so sorry for Huma and her family most of all. But we've got to get this behind us because it's a distraction. And so, yes, he should resign. I don't take pleasure in saying that because we've got important work to do, and this is just a ridiculous distraction.
Is there something that can be done to speed this along? Or?
Well, there is a process. I don't know. It would take a little while for this process to go through. There's censuring. There's you'd have to go through a process. You'd have to go through the ethics committee, I think, would have to process this. This would take time. I think the fastest, best way is for Anthony to resign.
Effectively, I think Paul and I probably all his colleagues agree that any process, a judicial process through the ethics committee, is going to take time. I really don't know that we have that time, and I would hope that Mr. Weiner would use this opportunity to reflect upon whether or not he can effectively proceed.